It's cracking with it. This rock B. Now check it out. Um, this is a little story tutorial on about how to set up shop. Now I didn't set up shop a few different places at a few different times. I didn't went on the freeway with it. Went to different states. You know how Ice Cube talk about. He say uh, um, hit them up, shut them down, open up shop type shit. You know, we was doing that shit. But this is a particular time, when I was have been out of penitentiary for about 5 to 10 years, and just doing my thing, living my life, and I wasn't really hustling on the open up shop, selling no motherfucking illegal narcotics level. But this particular time, I'm back in Modesto, and Dust Bowl era, man. Um, I was refurbishing old furniture and selling it, fixing up bicycles, selling it, and doing all that old type shit, doing a lot of garage sale, flea market type work, and making my little money and shit. And so I was driving on the west side of Modesto on Rouse Avenue to my cousin's baby's mother's house, because she had a house off Hammond and Rouse on the corner right there, where it was real cool for some garage sales, because a million cars passed by there, right? About a million, but in the whole, it's a pretty busy corner and shit. So I thought that would be a good spot for a garage sale. And so I used to pass on Rouse, but I used to pass this one house on the corner on Rouse, and it was closer to, where the hot spot was on Rouse and Sutter Avenue and shit. And it was the hot spot, and saw all kind of crackheads, smokers, and all kind of shit, all kind of little shit going on. I saw a couple of my homeboys there and shit. A couple of homeboys that I saw, they were a lot younger than me, but I knew them from my neighborhood back in the day and shit. And I used to pass by and holler at them. They used to holler at me, hey OG, hey OG. I used to think they was getting money, because I saw all kind of what looked like smokers going on there, and it looked kind of like a trap house and shit. And so when I used to ride by, see him shit over there, and pass by every down there, and I stopped by and say, what's up? One day they flagged me down, stopped me, and rode down the window. They had a cell phone in their hand, and then it was one of my partners that was in prison. And he was like, hey, homie, you know what I'm saying? Won't you send me some money up here? I need some love or some shit. And, I'm like, nigga, I ain't got no money. I'm hustling out here, nigga. You need to ask your motherfucking peoples right here, man. They when we're on this dope spot, all these smokers over here, have them motherfuckers send you some motherfucking money. And, so he was like, man, them niggas ain't getting no motherfucking money over there. Them niggas ain't, ain't about that motherfucking money. I'm like, shit, nigga, get me up in that motherfucking house and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'll see all these motherfuckers. I'll figure something out, right? And I guess it was his uncle's house. You know what I'm saying? The guy that was on the phone, it was his uncle's house. So he called his uncle and said, I guess he told him to let me up in there and start some hustling and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he can get paid a little bit. And so it was cool. Uncle said it was cool. So, I went and got a front. I had a job to do. You know what I'm saying? And I had to go to Santa Cruz to do a job. I had some landscaping work to do in Santa Cruz and shit. I was going to get paid at least about $500 to $1,000 somewhere around there with this job I was getting ready to do. And so I knew I had some money coming in, but I had no money to buy the sack, And so I'll go get a front for my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a front quarter ounce, which is going to cost me about $150, $200 or something, and he fronted it to me and shit. And so I take it back to the boy. I'm like, to the household where, I'm supposed to set up shop, and it was already my young partners there and shit. I say, look, man, we gonna do this. This is how we gonna do it. Y'all down the ride? And, you know what I'm saying? My boy's like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's one of my boys and shit. And like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And told him the game and all this old shit. We're going to have this room, and don't have motherfuckers coming back here. You don't give motherfucker the game. He was like, man, fuck, I know the game. I really didn't really know the game. So I was going to teach him how to chop up the motherfucking hard, because I, got a quarter ounce of hard and shit. And so I was going to teach him how to chop down the hard. He's like, I know how to do it and all that stuff. So, all right, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Flip this and let me know when you flip this. I'm going to have my boy to come drop you off some money, give it to him, all this old shit, right? So I'm probably going to spend a few days up here, up in Santa Cruz doing the job I was getting ready to do. So, all right, I drop him off to work, and, I go to Santa Cruz, do my job. A couple of days go by, I get a phone call. and it's some smokers calling me. And it's the guy, the old man's house who it was. I told you with my partner in jail, his uncle whose house who it was. He called me with some smokers and said, man, your boy ain't been on the block. Where's he been? I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck, what's going on? So, you know what I'm saying, I give him a call and shit, and he tells me, man, some niggas drew down on him, you know what I'm saying, came on the spot and drew down on him and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, I'm like, nigga, how you gonna let niggas run you off your motherfucking old relative spot? That's your people's spot. Ain't that your uncle too, nigga? You let niggas run you out your own house, nigga? Like, what the fuck? So I had a little chop at the house, you know what I'm saying, that was sitting in my house in Modesto and said, so I told my girl, called my girl, you know what I'm saying, I said, look, man, go over here and take my chop over there and drop it off to old boy, you know what I'm saying, so we can have some protection over there, you know what I'm saying, so we can get back on the block and get that money right, because I'm worried about our oldest niggas some money and all other niggas some money and all this old shit on the front and shit, like, nigga, you fucking up. So I'm just weirded out how you let a nigga run you from your spot and shit. So anyway, a couple of days go by, he still ain't on the spot. So I end up messing up my wrist a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing some work out there because I'm thinking about this nigga ain't on the block, you know what I'm saying? He got my money and he got my motherfucking thing and, and shit. And he ain't on the block. Where is he at? He ain't answering his phone calls. So, you know what I'm saying? I hurry up and finish my job, you know what I'm saying? Get back to Modesto. I had my wrist all fucked up and shit. Get back to Modesto, I can't find him and shit. And so now he got my chopper, and that's the only one I got. So I go to the boy, I owe some money, so I pay him because I had some money from a job and shit. Get another bag, you know what I'm saying? Get another bag from him, so I dealt up. I get a half this time. I get a half this time. So it hit me about $600-$700 and shit. I get the half, and I say, hey man, won't you front me a pistol? I know you got some motherfucking pistols around this motherfucker. So he went in his bag full of pistols, gave me a 357 and shit. This is gonna cost you about $600-$700. So I don't know how much he charged me for it. You know what I'm saying? It probably wasn't that much, about $400-$500 he charged me for the pistol. But that was on front too, on consignment and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I got that pistol because I had to use that pistol to go find this nigga to get my pistol from this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't find this nigga, right? I can't find this nigga, and he with my money and all this old shit. You know what I'm saying? And I found out that he left my pistol at this one cat's house, man. And the cat, he passed away. I don't want to say his name. He passed away. Cool cat. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm having problems from this cat. He's a Damu from San Jose and shit. And so I'll go knock on his door. I got my one partner with me, and then I got my pistol. I'll go knock on this nigga door because I'm thinking I'm going to have problems about my motherfucking chop shop. You know what I'm saying? And nigga answered the door, like, I know who you is and shit, you know what I'm saying? He came right through the door with my chopper. I'm like, damn, good looking out, you know what I'm saying? And he became a partner, you know what I'm saying, ever since and shit. But anyway, end up going back to the spot, you know what I'm saying, the trap spot and shit, you know what I'm saying, to set up shop again. And there's one other cat up in there, and he had my money. They had the money right, but it wasn't doubled up. It probably had a little extra $25 on it, but it wasn't nothing. But you know what I'm saying? It was the money that, you know what I'm saying, the nigga made plus extra 25. That was the shit I owed the nigga. So I just put that in my pocket because I already paid him and shit. You know what I'm saying? That the nigga owed and shit. But yeah, start setting up shop, and I didn't know that this one nigga was over there the whole time before I was there getting money and shit. And I used to go over there, I used to see the nigga and shit, and he would slip away and shit like that. And the nigga wasn't no punk or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And so one day I get a call, you know what I'm saying? So let me back up a little bit. So after that, I call a team. I get my relative, a couple of my partners. I say, look, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna make money like this. We're gonna do it like this, and we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, open up this motherfucking block, this bedrock, nigga. We're gonna open up this motherfucking block right here and just get the pumping and shit. And everybody was agreeing with it. And the old boy's the dude who was missing with my shit. You know what I'm saying? I still couldn't find him and shit. You know what I'm saying? He just told it, left a message that he was about the game and shit. And his brother, I seen his brother. His brother had a little thumb thing in his little satchel that he had hanging on his motherfucking chest and shit. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Why you didn't call me? I know you was like that." So he started riding with me. So I got about 3 or 4 motherfuckers and shit. About 4 of us and shit on this motherfucking block holding it down. You know what I'm saying? It's got a backyard and everything. So now we watching the backyard, watching everything. Now we're watching all the perimeter, watching everything. Anybody come, we only got we got three things and shit. So you know what I'm saying? Got a couple of choppers in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a chop in the backyard and everybody watching the fence and watching the traffic, and we hitting these motherfucking knocks. And so there's one cat, you know what I'm saying? I get a call, they say there's one cat over here, he hustling over here. I say, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So it's this one cat, one Crip cat and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was from L.A. somewhere. I don't know where the cat was from, really. You know what I'm saying? So he had been around. I had seen him and shit, but you know what I'm saying? I know he wasn't from my neighborhood, but you know, there was a lot of new niggas in my neighborhood because I had moved away and for a minute and came back home and shit. And so I get over there, you know what I'm saying? He was sitting in the car. I get over there with my thing with a couple of, with my relative. We draw down, nigga. What's happening, nigga? Get the fuck up out of here, nigga. You know what I'm saying? No more motherfucking hustling over here. And his partner was in the car with him. He had a thing with him. I know he's finished try to pull that motherfucker, but you know, we had the ups on him and shit. Because if he'd have pulled it, we would have got at him and shit. And so, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Shut down their shop and they left and shit. I thought I was gonna have a problem with the niggas and shit, you know what I'm saying? And we stayed strapped watching these niggas, watching all the traffic, all this old shit, getting this motherfucking money. And we also had to put down a couple of demonstrations and shit, you know what I'm saying? Let a motherfucker know we on the block, this our block, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And this is what we doing and shit. And so, later on in the game, the little Crip cat, well, he wasn't a little guy, he was bigger than me, bigger than I was, come over and said, man, I just need to talk to you. Come on with the white flag shit. He said, man, I've been on this spot for a few years getting money. Now my son ain't getting money. I know this your hood and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't finna try to fight you in your own hood. I ain't gonna be able to win with that. But damn, man, I'm just saying, man, goddamn, you taking money out my mouth, man. I've been getting money on this motherfucker for a few years and shit. You know, and you know, and I didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, look, cat, you know what I'm saying? I get it, man. You can come over and hustle, get your money and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We just going, you know what I'm saying? You get a knock, I'll get a knock, and we'll just do it like that. I said, don't trip if you got some knocks. When they come and get my motherfucking dope because it's fatter. He said, nigga, don't trip if your knocks come to me and try to get my dope because it's fatter. And so we became cool like that, man. But that was my story on setting up shop, man. I hope y'all like that one. Rock B3 on the tree. And this is part 2, setting up shop, Dust Bowl era. So, yeah, well, you know, shit was going, but it was kind of going slow. It was kind of going slow, and I started working with, we're just going to call my one partner who started off and who got scared or whatnot. We're just going to call him Big Black. Now, Big Black had a older brother, you know, but he was a little smaller than me. He was a little bit more rider, so he was like, you should have leaned on me. You know what I'm saying? I would have fucked with, niggas wouldn't have ran me off and all this old shit, so I started using him. But I had to go back to Santa Cruz, you know, to do some work. But before I did, I really gave him a little game. I chopped up the work, you know what I'm saying? Told him this is what we need to have back, to, you know what I'm saying, so we can re-up and all this old type shit. And, you know, and he was cool with it, you know what I'm saying? And plus I had a couple of little soldiers that had his back. And so, you know, I'm thinking it's going to go real smooth when I go to Santa Cruz, go to work. So I'll go back to Santa Cruz and it's some bullshit again. I get another phone call, the niggas ain't hustling again. So when I get back to Modesto and I don't see, you know what I'm saying, Big Black's brother, you know, and I was going to call him Little Black. But it's his big brother. He's bigger than him. But anyway, I don't see his little brother. But, you know, like, what the fuck is going on? But he left my work with this one cat that I knew him, but I really didn't know him. Kind of big, heavy set cat. Left my work with him, and he was getting off my work. But I thought he was a smoker because when we took over the trap house, you know, the guy was in the room, and the man of the house put the guy at the room, said these niggas gonna hustle up in here, and made that nigga sleep on the couch. So I'm thinking he was a smoker and shit, you know. And so when I get up in there and he got my work, I'm like, damn, how you fucking? He gave me all the money, you know what I'm saying? Gave my work, he had all the shit right and all this old shit. I'm tripping, like, this smoker got game and shit, this nigga. And he gave, you know what I'm saying? And he gave me some more money on top of the money he made for me, you know what I'm saying? He's like, look, I want to put this in on it, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to, you know, I want to get on, you know what I'm saying? I want to be down. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I thought the nigga was a smoker the whole time. This nigga, he was a hustler the whole motherfucking time, but he was just a drunk, you know what I'm saying? Fucking off a lot of money. And so money was coming and shit, but it wasn't coming real fast and shit. And I was trying to wonder what was going on, but it was a lot of dope houses around the area. A few motherfuckers was getting their hustle on and shit like that. And I, you know, I just had came in trying to step on toes, but you know what I'm saying? Shit was kind of coming slow. And I remember I was selling nothing but dubs and shit. Nothing but dubs and shit. And I remember these smokers used to come, they'd be mad. They'd be having $3, $4, $5 and shit, $6, $7 and shit, and they couldn't get no motherfucking work. And they'd be mad in the motherfucker. And this one smoker said, like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? I hustle all day for this motherfucking money, and you know what I'm saying? And you know, I can't get a piece, I can't get nothing. And so a light clicked on my motherfucking brain. I'm like, fuck. I'ma just start selling nothing but nickels. You know what I'm saying? Fat nickels. You know what I'm saying? Because, my nickel damn near look like dimes. And so I started switching up the game. I switched up the game and started selling nickels and shit. And when I did that, oh my God. At first it was funny. Motherfucker was kind of tripping like, niggas selling nickels and shit. You know what I'm saying? They hadn't heard of it. But I had been in Dallas, Texas before hustling. They had these one project selling nothing but nickels. And they was killing their ass and shit. And so I had thought about that. And so I started selling nickels, and they was clowning me, calling me nickel and dime ass niggas. I was hearing all kind of little jokes and shit, you know what I'm saying? But that shit started popping like a motherfucker. Them nickels started coming, because I was taking all them fours and fives and $3.75. I was taking all that shit, getting all that motherfucker. That shit started coming. And so, well, me and the one dude who I thought was a smoker, the big cat, we was hustling, and now Big Black wants to come back, right? He wants to get back in. Now he's kind of feeling a little salty and shit. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying, man, it's like, goddamn, nigga, why'd you run at first, nigga? Goddamn, we could have been on and shit. We got a cool thing going right now with this cat, you know what I'm saying? I try to fit you in somewhere, but he feeling a little salty because I'm at his uncle's house and all this old type shit. Taking over this room, he really ain't got no place to stay and all this old type shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Around up the street on Rouse Avenue, they had this little area, the little cul-de-sac area that they call the Dust Bowl. This looked like it used to be some old Norman Bates type of motels and shit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but dust in the motherfucker. So that's why they call it Dust Bowl. One way in, one way out, little cul-de-sac and shit. And so it was a house over there, a little spot over there open, and the cul-de-sac was grimy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it was a little spot over there open, a little studio one bedroom open and shit. And I talked to the landlord, got up in that motherfucker, moved up the street, and started open up shop over there and turned the Dust Bowl out. And man, there was so much money coming through that motherfucker, I couldn't even sit on the motherfucking toilet for 2-3 minutes, man. They was knocking like a motherfucker. And I set that motherfucking Dust Bowl up real sweet because I had all kind of other shit going on there to try to max that I was hustling. Yay, I was selling all kind of little sodas and whatever the fuck, all little candy spots. You know, my spot was a late night spot. I had the bootleg spot going on with liquor and beer and all kind of shit, and it was popping, but it was just getting too much and shit. And so it was hard for me to get good help, man, because everybody was, they wasn't hustlers like I was and shit like that, and it was like too much for myself and shit. And so, you know what I'm saying, I just left that $1 million spot to somebody, and they, ran it down in the dirt. But yeah, I made a lot of money on that motherfucker, but I left that motherfucker because I got nervous, and it was just too much work by myself. I couldn't be in that motherfucker 2-3 minutes without motherfuckers knocking, wanting something. You know what I'm saying? And I made it like that, but I just didn't have a lot of motherfuckers to help me run it right. And so I ended up shutting the spot down. But yeah, that's my story, part 2 on that. You know what I'm saying? Setting up shop. Not really how to set up shop and all this old shit. I don't want to encourage nobody to do no illegal nothing. You know what I'm saying? But these are just stories and shit like that. But yeah, that was my story, setting up shop.